Hi everyone, Chillax here, and welcome to part 2 to this series, Anchor Panic series, regarding how to build all the operators. And I will be going over all the quantum operators that have been released through version 1.5, and I stand corrected. Thank you, shout out to Qua for pointing out that we're actually in version 1.5 and not 1.4 for global. So as you see before you, Tiya is actually one of our quantum DPSs. She's actually our premium one. I do own all the operators, so the structure of this video will be as follows. I'm just basically going to filter by quantum, and I'm going to go in the order in which I have them built and explain how to build everything for each character. And I will have timestamps, so if there's an operator such as Tern who you're very interested in, or Flicker, you can jump over to that timestamp to get all the details regarding how to build them. So let's start things off with NewCastle. NewCastle is a breaker who has a lot of damage dealing potential. Additionally, she has the ability to buff quantum dedicated teams thanks to her second passive, as well as her ability to buff herself via her first passive, as well as her third and sixth ascension. In terms of builds, because she is a DPS, I would recommend having minimum 10 level investment for her skills. For sigils, you want to go with her signature sigil, Idle Victory if possible, but if you don't have that, you can also go with one of 4 other universal gold sigils, such as Arrival of the Outsider, which provides crit rate, and Great Furnace also provides crit rate, or you can go the crit damage side via Whale Echo, which not only provides crit damage but also skill damage, or you could go Guiding Beacon, which provides basic attack. There is actually one more. Oh yeah, this one also provides crit damage, and it also boosts crit rate as well. So any of these 5 will be good. I recommend against building purple or lower rarity sigils. Some players may recommend it, but the problem with purple sigils is that you cannot empower them. As you can see, yeah, only SSR sigils can be empowered, and because of that reason, you do miss out on the empower attributes. And every fully built hero should have 3 empower attributes. In the case of NewCastle, you want to build her more offensively, but she's a breaker too. So, speed is a good stat line to have on any character. You can go also quantum damage, crit rate, crit damage, defense penetration, or quantum damage. Maybe I repeated that twice on accident, but those 5, and then break rate is acceptable if you're low on this premium resource here, the empowered nucleuses, which, as you can see here, I'm pretty low on that as well. Try to re-roll for as close to 10 out of 10 if possible, particularly in speed. And then for models, there's 2 main ways to build her. One is either 4-piece quantum, 2-piece tenacity break, as you see here, or you can go 4-piece quantum, and instead of tenacity assault, you can go 2-piece of the attack instead. Either one of these will be great depending on whether you value PvE more or PvP. In terms of remodels, I don't have it fine-tuned here, but ideally you want to look for more offensive stat lines, notably crit rate, crit damage. Obviously go 6 out of 6 speed if you can, and then the rest into base attack and attack. Oh, and then for models, for 4 I would go speed, for 5 I would go crit rate, and for 6 I would go crit damage. Okay, so moving on to the next quantum operator, that is going to be Tiya. So Tiya is probably the best quantum DPS right now, because she does have a passive that allows her to create like a force field. It's via her energy burst actually, which, yeah, she enters a stargaze state. Whenever the enemy hits you, she has a chance, hits any of your allies, she has a chance to retaliate with a follow-up attack on the weakest enemy. And this can happen multiple times. and doesn't require an action on your part. So for this reason, unlike other DPSs where, yeah, speed is always helpful, but it's not as important, for her, for Tiya in particular, you need her on speed because ideally you want her to move before the first enemy starts moving. That way, whenever the enemy takes an action, you have a chance to hit the weakest enemy with her follow-up attack, and this uh, increases her overall damage output over the course of the fight. Yeah, so, and actually, her signature sigil even provides a clue that you do want her on speed, unlike other DPSs. So I would say speed is a non negotiable. And then in terms of other stat lines, if you can get crit rate, crit damage, quantum damage, those would be excellent. Defense penetration is also very good. If you don't have her signature sigil, then go with any of the other gold sigils that provide crit rate, crit damage, or skill damage as a stat line. And then for skills, I would recommend maxing out her skill damage as well as her energy burst. I think basic attack or normal attack, you can also level it up to minimum 10. For models, you want to go speed, crit rate, and crit damage. Now, I would say there's two different ways you can build her. One is to ensure that she moves before the first enemy moves. And to achieve that, you would go 4-piece quantum, 2-piece of the raging wave, because you get 4% extra speed. And surprisingly, this 4% speed does allow you to break ties against other players with roughly equal account investment to you. I do find this quite useful. So I would recommend this, but there's also merit to go 4-piece quantum, 2-piece attack percent, or if the opponent keeps sniping your Tiya to death before she can act, or before you can get much value out of her, you can go 4-piece quantum, 2-piece block rate if you're having survival issues. For remodel effects, go as offensive as you can. Ideally, you want 6 out of 6 speed, 10 out of 10 crit rate, 10 out of 10 crit damage, and the rest into basic attack or attack. That would be ideal. Okay, so moving on to the next one here, Lilira. So Lilira is one of our premium healers. There's currently only 3 healing operators in this game, and she's tied for being the best healer, the other one being Streyne. But unlike Streyne, Lilira does provide a shield, which gives her extra utility when it comes to fights, particularly like really insane PvE or PvP fights where the enemy is hitting you like a truck and they can one-shot your team. That's where the shields that Lilira applies can be quite helpful. So for this reason, for sigils, if you can get shield strength in her sigil, I do think that this makes her an even better healer, because mind you, shields can also stack, I think, up to 2 times. So applying multiple shields, chonky shields with Lilira, I think is quite valuable. So I would say speed, HP, shield strength is the best combination for Lilira in particular, because any of these 3, or healing boost, because her heals scale off of HP, and you do want her to have some survivability. Obviously, her signature sigil would be ideal, but I don't have it, so I went with the next best option, which is the Unknown Spiral Sequence, which is the only universal gold sigil that is capable of providing healing boost, which is quite valuable for Lilira, because a lot of people think that she's not double S tier because her heals are quite weak. And also because I guess some people don't believe you need healers in this game. And then for skills, I recommend maxing out both her skill as well as her energy burst, because her skill is the main source of her shields, and she can apply shields to the entire party every turn. And then her energy burst is the primary source of her heals. And then you can bring this to 10 if you'd like. Some people choose to keep it at 1 or 4 or 5, but I recommend for any hero who you use on your primary PvP team or PvE team, you should bring it to minimum 10, because you never know if sniping off an enemy that's on a sliver of health can make or break the run, right? Okay, and then for models, I would go speed, base HP, and HP. You go HP here to improve her survivability and also because her heals scale off of HP. And then 4-piece block rate, 2-piece HP, I think is the best for her. You could also go with 2-piece heals, but I do think having survivability is very important, especially if you have her Ascension 3 or higher, where she does provide a one-time revival for an ally. Keeping her alive is going to be very important. Okay, and then obviously, sorry, I accidentally backed out completely, but with Lilira, you also want her remodel effects. I would say 6 out of 6 speed. If you can max out her shield enhance, that would be ideal. Then max out block chance and the rest into HP. Alright, so now moving on to the next operator. Let me see how I'm... Okay, 11 minutes, that's not bad. Moving on to Tern. So Tern, you definitely want her signature sigil. It's actually one of the most universal as well, because any wielder of this sigil will be a little bit faster and also make her allies faster. But obviously with Tern, it also supports her by providing additional drone support stacks, which further enhances the overall damage output of your team. But if you don't have this, then I probably would go with this one, Automated Cultivation, because typically you'll have Tern in a heavily quantum team, and the more same element allies you have, the more HP and defense you will have. Because you do want Tern to be somewhat tanky, that way she can continuously maintain the speed and attack buff of your party. And then you want to build her with max speed. This is one of the few instances besides Echo where you want max out speed. And then for the rest of the lines, you want like defense bonus or HP bonus. That would be ideal. I randomly rolled into a 10 out of 10 crit rate as I was empowering, and I decided to just keep it. But you typically don't really run her as a DPS. Okay, and then for models, I would say the best way to build her, because you do want her to be faster. Keep in mind that in a PvP situation, if your turn is as fast as the opponent's turn, their turn will move first. Whoever is defending, if there is a same speed stat line, the defender will move first. It's the tie-breaking rule. So as such, if you want to ensure that she's really fast, you want to have 10 out of 10 speed on her sigil. You want to go 2-piece of the Raging Wave for the additional speed, and then 4-piece block rate in order to ensure her survivability. And then I need to fine-tune this, but you want to max out her defensive stats as much as possible. However, having a high attack stat is okay, because when she boosts the attack of everyone's with her skill, it scales off of her attack, I believe. Yeah, actually, there's a translation issue. Or actually, no, it doesn't scale off of attack. Oh, it's based off of her speed. Oh, no. But okay, her energy burst, the additional quantum damage she applies for all allies is based off of her attack. Okay, there was a reason why I did that. So it's to make her energy burst provide more damage buffs for your party. So if you do roll into attack, I think that is acceptable as well. But not base attack, though. That's different. Oh, and I always forget. One last thing, sorry. For models, obviously go speed, base HP, and you can go one of two ways. You can either go HP to add further survivability, or you can go attack to make her energy burst provide even more damage potential for your party. It's up to you. Personally, I use Tern as a defensive stop for my formation, so I choose to make her as tanky as possible. I'd rather have that consistency. I don't want the enemy to pick up a KO on turn, and that obviously significantly lowers my damage output. Alright, so how are we doing on time here? 14 minutes, not bad. Okay, so the last SSR quantum is Flicker. So Flicker is a tank who scales off of HP. Her shields scale off of her max HP, so that has implications on how you build her. Signature Sigil, if you can get it, is ideal. And if in doubt as to which stat line to go with, the signature sigil of the hero will give a massive clue. So like for instance, previously with Tiya, it had speed as the third stat of her signature sigil, so that's a clue that maybe you want speed on Tiya. Same thing in Flicker's case, her shields scale off of HP. That's where her signature sigil provides that. And then, yeah, in terms of empower attributes, speed, HP, defense, I think is quite good. You can also go defense bonus, HP, and shield enhance because you don't need her to be fast. But if you roll speed, I think I typically would just keep it. Yeah, so this would be ideal. And if you don't have this, then you want to go with the automated cultivation because that also provides base HP, which will maintain the idea, right, to maximize the bulkiness of your shields. You can go 4-piece block rate, 2-piece HP, because shields scale off of HP. You go speed, base HP, or actually there is merit to changing this to HP as well, although personally I value speed very much because Flicker actually does decent amounts of damage too, and I think there's a part of her kit that allows her to energy burst a bit more frequently because there's a way to get more energy than usual. So that's a consideration. Shield enhance 5 out of 5 because she applies a shield every turn, and then I have 10 out of 10 HP. I don't have all the speed, but if I roll into speed and like a defensive stat line, I will typically keep it. Yeah, so I think optimally it would be 5 out of 5 shield, 5 out of 5 block chance, a good spread of HP, and as much speed as you can. And some into defense wouldn't hurt either. Anything else? I think that's it for her. Okay, so now we are moving on to the Ifrit. Yeah, so sorry, there's another SSR quantum. This is Breaker Ifrit. So Ifrit, she, the thing about breakers is that they do decent amounts of damage too, but you have to pay attention to their kit because in her case, she's more focused on improving the overall damage of your quantum units. And I always look for what it scales off of. Yeah, so it scales off of her attack, so I keep that in mind. Yeah, so in terms of sigils, I would go with her signature sigil. So this is, like I mentioned before, this is a clue. Like if you don't have her signature sigil, you can look her up in the there's like a encyclopedia in this game where you can look up all the signature sigils you don't own, and you'll see, okay, she likes base attack. So if you don't have this one, then the base attack one I think is this. Yeah, Guiding Beacon is good, and actually it makes a lot of sense too because typically Ifrit you would run with at least 2 or 3 other quantum units, and this one incentivizes you for the amount of same element allies on the field. So Guiding Beacon would be the alternative if you don't have Momentary Reverie. And then you can build her offensively or defensively. This actually, I just randomly rolled into a bunch of offensive stat lines attributes, so I just went with this and decided to make her more offensive as a result. So quantum damage, speed. Actually, I really wanted speed, but I randomly rolled into this, and I'm very low on the empower nuclei, so I just went with this. But yeah, speed would be ideal because you want your breaker to move before your DPS, and then the remaining stat lines would be like crit rate, quantum damage, defense penetration. I probably would not go crit damage unless I have crit rate as well. And then for models, I built her slightly more defensively with 4-piece quantum for offense and 2-piece block chance because for Union Siege I do have her in the front, so I need her to survive. That's a little trick. If you ever have DPSs with or sub DPSs with survival issues, the offset can be block chance, and that'll significantly increase your survival chance. And then here, I would like for me, I decided to make her a little bit more tanky so she would survive in Union Siege and maintain all the quantum support. But if any roll into attack, I will keep it because it helps with her energy burst. Yeah. Oh, and then for models, obviously speed and then crit rate, crit damage, or you can go base HP and attack, or base HP and HP, or even defense. It's up to you how you want to build her. Okay, so moving on to Centaurea. So Centaurea, she is a healer who can also buff your allies offensively, scaling off of her attack, but I think her heals scale off of also her attack. Interesting. Oh, okay, I might need to fix her build, but I would still go with 4-piece block chance and 2-piece HP, but this last slot, oh, I did boost attack. Okay, okay. Yeah, because Centaurea is great because she can heal, she can cleanse, and she can also buff the damage output of your party. Yeah, but you will still go base HP because you need your healers to not die, and obviously you want them fast. And I would build her more defensively, but obviously if any roll into attack, I would probably keep that, and then try to go 6 out of 6 speed, 5 out of 5 block chance. For sigils, SR heroes do not have signature sigils, so I would personally go with either automated cultivation or I would go with unknown spiral sequence. I personally think unknown spiral sequence is better because 16.8% healing boost is quite significant, especially considering that her energy burst heals are not the greatest. However, this is acceptable. Just know base HP will not help with her heals like it does for Lilira. And then, but this is decent. It at least improves her survivability. And I do have healing boost and then power attribute. So this is actually pretty decent. Speed, defense bonus, and healing boost I think is quite good. If you got HP as well, I think that would be alright. Actually, in the case of Centaurea, you ideally want her to move first before your DPSs and breakers. That way she can get the attack buff on them before they start moving. So as such, speed is non-negotiable. I would have it as high as possible. That's it, right? And then 10, 10, 10 if you'd like, or you can have less than 10 if you'd like, but the skill and the energy burst both need to be minimum level 10 because the skill is what provides offensive buffs for your party, and this you get your heals and your cleanses. Okay, Streyne is next. Streyne is one of the top healers in this game, better than Centaurea, and some of my guildmates believe she's better than Lilira because she is a healer who can also buff your party. But unlike Centaurea, Streyne can heal every turn, which a Centaurea can only heal every other turn. Yeah, and her heals scale off of her attack, as you can see here. And her buffs also scale off of her attack. Yeah, so for this reason, the models, you still have 4-piece block rate, 2-piece HP, obviously still go speed, base HP still because you want her to survive well. However, the last slot you go attack. And then remodel effects, if you, I would build her 6 out of 6 speed, or you can make her slower actually, but not too slow. Because yeah, but I typically make my operators quick and then build more defensively, get 5 out of 5 block chance if you can, 6 out of 6 speed, and the rest into HP or defense or attack whenever you get it. And then for sigils, obviously she doesn't have a signature one. This I think is the best one because it provides a healing boost. And speed, healing boost, HP I think are quite good. Or you could have defense as well, it's up to you. Okay, I think we're almost done. How are we doing on time? 25 minutes, okay, that's about right. We're almost done. So Antilope, the quantum element is stacked. Even Antilope is worth playing. Every hero I've gone over so far has been viable. The thing about Antilope is that her shields scale off of her HP. I always read that because Dawn, for instance, who we'll talk about in another video, her shields scale off of her defense. So you always want to read what it scales off of. And actually the energy shield scales off of her max HP. So that gives you a clue like, okay, actually rolling into HP is not so bad either. And then obviously she doesn't have her own signature sigil. I'm starting to build her right now, and I equipped her with automated cultivation. I think this is the best sigil for her. And actually I need to roll an empower, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is actually not bad. Ideally I want speed, shield enhance, and HP. I'm gonna lock this and then I'll roll one more time. Ugh. Oh, okay, not bad. Okay, good, good. And if I wanted to invest more, I can re-roll this as well. But anyways, this is kind of an idea as to what you fish for. And then for skills, obviously go 10, 10, 10. And I think Antilope is worth building because she has multiple ways to keep the allies alive. She shields, and when the shield is broken, she also heals based off of her max HP. So I think it's worth it to max out her skill and her energy burst. SR operators have slightly less stat line, but Antilope is a special case where she provides a lot of value, and I think is relatively future-proof. As you can see, I'm building her right now. So 4-piece block rate, 2-piece HP, you go speed, you go HP, and you go either HP. I'd probably go HP. Yeah, because both of her shields come from HP. Yeah, and then for remodels, I would try to fish for HP and speed and block chance and shield enhance. Obviously, I'm starting to build her, so this is not up to date yet. Okay, and then the final operator is going to be Daling. She's a decent support. Always check what she scales off of and what value she brings to the table. She scales off of... I don't know if she scales off of anything. If in doubt, if you don't know what she scales off of, just go 4-piece block unyielding will for the block chance and 2-piece HP. I think that's a very safe option for any support or tank. And then go speed, HP percent, and HP. If like you cannot tell. And then for sigils, she is a support, so I'd probably go with this one, automated cultivation, especially since she's quantum, and it doesn't look like she applies a shield or anything, so I would just go speed, defense bonus, and HP for here. So I don't want this video to be too long. That wraps it up. Next element I'll just arbitrarily choose physical. So we'll go over physical next. If you like videos like this, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.